We have so many crazy new builds to cover in today's video that you can look to take advantage of in 14.4. All of these setups will feature our legitimately strong builds, so if you're looking for something new to play, we've got you covered. Also, we're excited to announce we've done a massive update, adding all brand new courses for Season 14 on our website, SkillCapped.com. And if that's not enough, we upload 10 new Smurf commentaries every week where a challenger teaches you how to play every champion in the exact rank you're stuck in. The best part? You can try all this out completely risk-free. If you don't rank up while actively using SkillCapped, you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted in Season 14. There's a very interesting new Volley Bear build starting to see more play over in Korea, and with the champion buff for 14.4, taking advantage of this new setup can be even more rewarding. It's the two core items being Unending Despair and Spirit Visage that work together extremely well. Unending Despair is the new tank armor item for Season 14, and its passive deals damage but also heals you based on the damage dealt. The heal part of the passive is key here, as when you build Spirit Visage, the passive from Spirit Visage is going to amplify all healing by 25%. Now, it's not just healing that Spirit Visage's passive amplifies, but it also boosts all shielding effects by 25% as well. This is where the third item comes in and synergizes incredibly well as you pick up Winter's Approach to round out the core. So not only are you going to increase the shield from Volley Bear's E, you're going to be increasing the healing from Unending Despair and the shielding from Winter's Approach. All in all, you've got so much sustain from this setup, and it becomes very difficult for the enemy to take you down in the mid to late game. The rune page that you should run with this build is Grasp, followed by Shield Bash, Second Wind, and Revitalize. Presence of Mind and Tenacity are for secondaries. There's a new Renekton build that you're going to want to try for patch 14.4 as it becomes much stronger due to Renekton's buffs. Most Renekton players are building Sundered Sky into Spear of Shojin, but you should instead be running Eclipse with Black Cleaver. Renekton's bonus AD ratio on his Q healing is buffed for 14.4, so it makes rushing an item like Eclipse that offers so much bonus AD way more valuable now. Even in 14.3 though, Eclipse was already outperforming Sundered Sky, so there's no reason why it shouldn't take over moving forward. Black Cleaver is seeing buffs for this patch as well, so you can grab it for your second purchase. Sterix will generally be the best third item for most games. So with this build, you've got a really nice mix of everything. The Eclipse Rush is great because it gives you a ton of AD so that you can look to abuse Renekton's strong early game and win out in the 1v1. As you transition into the mid game, the health from Black Cleaver and Sterix is really nice so that you can team fight more effectively. For the rune page, grab Conqueror with Triumph, Alacrity, and Last Stand, followed by Demolish and Bone Plating for secondaries. There's a brand new build going around on Shyvana that has single-handedly brought viability back to the champion. Drop Nashor's Tooth with Storm Surge and start running this hybrid setup. Spear of Shojin is the rush item, and the key factor to why this build works so well is due to how all of the items' passives synergize with each other. The passive on Spear of Shojin is going to provide you with a stack for each spell hit, and your spells will deal more damage the more stacks you get. The second item in this build is Liandry's, and it has a very similar passive to Spear of Shojin, to where for each second you're in combat, you deal bonus damage. Oh, but wait, we have yet another item that is a passive providing you with bonus damage for being in combat, and it's Riftmaker. So you guys should get the idea by now. There's just so much ramping damage coming out of this build, and it makes Shyvana's mid to late game teamfight presence absolutely nuts. The build deals a ton of damage, and a massive benefit to running this setup over the Nashors with Storm Surge build is that you are way more durable. You get health from all three core items, so you don't just have to sit on the edge of fights and throw out E for max range to be effective. The rune page to go alongside this build is Dark Harvest with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collection, and Treasure Hunter. Roll with Transcendence and Gathering Storm for secondaries. Lich Bane is such a strong item right now that you can even take advantage of it on a champion you probably wouldn't suspect, being Ivern. With Ivern spamming out his low cooldown shield throughout fights, he's able to get pretty good value out of the Lich Bane passive. To make it so that you can spam out shields even more often and proc Lich Bane more consistently, the second item in the build is Cosmic Drive. Cosmic Drive will provide you with some much needed health and lots of ability haste so that Ivern's E cooldown drops very low. It's full out offensive with this core, as the third item to round it out will be Rabadon's. If you have shied away from Ivern in the past because you didn't like his more supportive playstyle, then this new setup gives you a reason to try him out. You still have the ability to buff up your teammates really well and provide them with shields, but you've got way more agency yourself since you can deal a load of damage. For the rune page, it's Dark Harvest with Cheap Shot, Eyeball Collection, and Ultimate Hunter. Run Transcendence and Gathering Storm for secondaries. Although Rod of Ages Twisted Fate is completely viable right now, there's a new underrated build that has started to outperform in solo queue. Instead of building Rod of Ages, it's Shirelia's as the rush item. Now, you might be thinking, well, why on earth would I build a support item on Twisted Fate? There are a few good reasons for it. The first is that Shirelia's was actually changed for Season 14 so that it now provides you with more AP. In Season 13, you only got 35 AP from Shirelia's, but now in Season 14, the item provides 55. Another huge reason reason to why Shirelia's has become better on TF for this season is due to 8% movement speed now being a stat on the item. Movement speed is so key on a champion like Twisted Fate, as being in the right place at the right time to land gold cards is extremely important. You not only get the 8% movement speed from Shirelia's, but Lichbane is your second item, so you get another 8% on top of that. And then to round out the build, it's a rapid fire cannon which increases the range of your W and turns this setup into the ultimate catch build. One thing we didn't even mention that makes the build super insane is the active from Shirelia's. Popping Shirelia's active and getting all that movement speed makes finding pick plays so effortless. For the rune page, you can grab First Strike with Free Boots, Minion Dematerializer, and Cosmic Insight. Optimal secondaries are Absolute Focus and Gathering Storm. Zed has struggled to cement himself on top of the solo queue meta for Season 14, but this new build may have something to say about that. Lethality builds are by far the most popular on Zed right now, but there's a Bruiser setup seeing incredible results. Drop Voltaic Cyclo Sword as the rush and try out Eclipse. After Eclipse, it's Sundered Sky, and then third item is Spear of Shojin. The whole idea behind this build is for Zed to have much stronger mid to late game skirmish capabilities while still being able to snowball early on. Since you're not building Bruiser items until second or third and Eclipse is the rush, you still have a ton of burst potential early on to get the ball rolling. As you transition into the mid game though, building Sundered Sky prevents you from getting blown up instantly in fights and gives Zed more margin for error. For the rune setup with this build, run First Strike followed by Free Boots, Futures Market, and Cosmic Insight. Best secondaries are Transcendence and Scorch. Ezreal players have been building the champion wrong for far too long, so let's set the record straight for patch 14.4. It's honestly not really their fault though, as the main reason to why they've been building the wrong third item is due to Riot's mistake. Spear of Shojin has always been a niche third pickup on Ezreal, but it should really be the most purchased item. For the longest time, it was common knowledge that the passive on Spear of Shojin was 50% less effective for ranged champions. What if we told you this was actually not the case at all, and you've always been getting the full melee value of the Spear of Shojin passive on ranged champions? A few days ago, one of the best Ezreal players in the world, who goes by the name of Dragdar, made a video highlighting that you indeed get full value from Shojin's passive on ranged champions. This now makes so much more sense as to why Spear of Shojin has almost always held the highest win rate for any third item on Ezreal. Players just didn't bother building the item because they thought it was terrible on ranged champions, but now that we know that that's not the case, there's no reason you should be building Quick Blades or Serylda's Grudge in its place. So the 3 item core for Ezreal in 14.4 should be Essence Reaver into Mana Immune second and Spear of Shojin third. Keystone Rune is Press the Attack with Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Coup de Grace. Run Magical Footwear and Biscuits for secondaries. Draven builds have been all over the place to start Season 14, and there's another new one that's been popping up recently. We covered the Hubris Rush on Draven a few patches ago before it was being played very much, and now it's the most popular rush on Draven. This new build, however, does not involve Hubris, as you're rushing Ghostblade, going Opportunity second, and then Sundered Sky third. So by rushing Ghostblade and going Opportunity second, you have a lot of mobility and damage from that core. Building Sundered Sky as the third item gives Draven that extra bit of durability so he can kite out dive champions easier. With all the movement speed and tankiness, the setup is perfect for Draven because it really helps to alleviate the fact the champion lacks a gap closer. You're going to be opting for the burstier rune setup, as Hail of Blades is the keystone rune instead of Lethal Tempo. Even with the nerfs to Bloodsong for this patch, one champion who will continue to perform very well with the upgrade and who's been quite underrated with it in recent patches is Sona. When you really think about it, Bloodsong makes a lot of sense on Sona because of the way her passive works. Sona benefits a ton from being able to throw in auto attacks during trades because her passive provides her autos with special effects. Since you're going to be auto attacking anyways due to Sona's passive, it makes a lot of sense to run Bloodsong to amplify your damage even further. Bloodsong on Sona is actually winning about 3% more than Dreammaker, which is pretty crazy. After choosing the Bloodsong support upgrade, the standard build from then on out consists of Moonstone with Staff of Flowing Water. The Keystone Rune is Airy with Mana Flow, Transcendence, and Gathering Storm, roll with Conditioning and Revitalize for secondaries. This Taric setup is providing him with a ridiculous amount of strength right now, but very few players are actually running it. Similar to Sona, it's the Bloodsong upgrade that you need to be running on Taric. Bloodsong isn't even being nerfed for melee champions in 14.4, while the most common upgrade for Taric being Solstice Slay is. Bloodsong in 14.3 had been winning 4% more than Solstice Slay on Taric, and that gap will widen even more due to the Solstice Slay nerfs. Taric needs to be auto-attacking to get the most out of his kit, so it makes so much sense to be prioritizing Bloodsong. The first core item that you should be building on Taric is Frozen Heart. Most players are going Locket right now, but don't sleep on Frozen Heart if you are against an ADC who is auto-attack reliant. Frozen Heart is just such a cheap and cost-efficient item for Season 14 that heavily shuts down auto-attack champions. Once you complete Frozen Heart and have your Bloodsong support upgrade, the strength you've got in the 2v2 becomes completely insane. To round out the core build, look to grab Winter's Approach, as you get a lot of value from going Winters due to the fact you're getting a bunch of bonus mana from Frozen Heart. Winter's Approach has 2 passives that scale off mana, so since you're getting 400 bonus mana from Frozen Heart, the items work perfectly in tandem with each other. The best rune page to go along with this build is Glacial Augment, followed by Free Boots, Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight. Run Conditioning and revitalized for secondaries. If you truly want to improve and rank up fast, head on over to SkillCapped.com. We just finished a massive update adding all brand new courses for Season 14. We even upload 10 new Smurf commentaries each week where a challenger teaches you how to play every champion in the exact rank you're stuck in. And remember, you can try all this out risk-free. If you don't rank up while actively using SkillCapped, you get your money back, no questions asked. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description below to get the rank you've always wanted this season. So there you have it, guys, 10 new builds that you can look to abuse for patch 14.4. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you back soon.